Takot ka bang kumain ng itlog araw-araw? How much more kung lalagyan mo ito ng bacon? I understand na marami yung takot kapag pinagsabay yung bacon at itlog, and they are mostly afraid of cholesterol kasi tumataas yung kanilang cholesterol, LDL, triglycerides, at sabi nga, marami itong risk for heart attacks, for cardiovascular diseases tulad ng stroke, o yung pagkakaroon ng atherosclerosis o yung bara sa ugat. Pero meron bang basihan yung takot natin sa bacon, itlog at iba pang mamantika? Yes, totoo po na mataas nga sa fats ang bacon at itlog. Pero alam nyo ba na kahit pa iwasan nyo ang bacon at itlog at saka hindi pa kayo kakain ng kahit anong mamantika, alam nyo bang pwedeng-pwede pa rin magkaroon ng pagtaas sa inyong blood cholesterol, pagtaas sa triglycerides, at higit sa lahat, ang pagkakaroon ng inflammation o pamamaga sa katawan. Ang inflammation ay ang punot dulo kung bakit merong sakit sa puso, kung bakit merong atherosclerosis, merong stroke, because ang pagkakaroon ng inflammation, ito yung parang sugat na nasa loob ng ating katawan. And when our body tries to heal itself, tulad ng sugat sa ating balat, lalagyan din niya ito ng scar. And then that scar formation, yun yung posibleng matanggal kapag, say for example, biglang tataas yung inyong blood pressure, at yun ay ang makakakos ng pagbara sa mga ugat na maliliit sa ating katawan. So one of the most common area na kung saan sila ay bumabara and nakakakos ng problems when it comes to our health, yung tawag nating symptomatic and clinically significant. Ibig sabihin, meron talaga siyang symptoms and then meron siyang epekto sa ating pangangatawan, sa ating functioning, is the one in our heart and in our brain. Yung iba, pwede rin po pumunta sa ating kidneys. That's why nagkakaroon din ng tawag nating parang nephrotic hypertension or nephritic hypertensive nephropathy, o yung pagkakaroon ng sakit sa ating kidneys because of elevated blood pressure. And even in our eyesight, pwede rin pong magbara yung scar formation na yon, pwede siyang pumunta sa ating mata, causing blindness. And yung functioning sa ating utak, it can put there any place in our brain, leading to, say for example, paralysis ng kalahati ng ating katawan, o di kaya paralysis ng ating mukha. And alam nyo ba na hindi talaga yan dahil sa bacon, itlog, at mamantika? Because these foods, yes, especially bacon, klaruhin natin, these are in our caution list, okay? Kasi kahit pa it's animal meat and it's natural, pero na-process na ito. Unless of course, ikaw mismo gumawa ng inyong bacon at nilagay nyong pampalasa ay asin lamang. So, the bacon that usually we see in the market is nasa caution list na yon. And as much as possible, we try not to eat that. So, if we eat bacon, kung pwede lang, yung bacon cuts lamang. Yung belly part, either pork or beef, or kung ano man. In Dubai, I was able to eat turkey bacon. So, malayong malayo siya sa bacon na nakasanayan nating fatty, because turkey, as what we all know, it's very lean. Para rin siyang manok na sobrang puro karne lang. So, it's quite dry as compared to bacon na gawa sa pork belly or beef belly. And kung gagawa kayo ng inyong sariling bacon, so just plain thin slices of belly at prituhin lang ito sa kanyang sariling mantika, o di kaya kung gusto nyong gumamit ng cooking oil, use coconut oil. And as long as meron siyang pinaka-importanteng bagay when you decide to eat bacon and eggs, try to eat them either alone, sila lang, o di kaya walang kasamang kanin, walang kasamang tinapay, wag na kayong magprutas right after, and most importantly, wag nang sabayan ito ng mga matatamis tulad ng soft drinks o di kaya desserts, because the deadliest combination sa pagkain is yung mataas sa cholesterol, mataas sa taba, kasabay ng mataas din sa carbohydrates. So, bacon and eggs are rich in cholesterol and they are also high in proteins. And in general, hindi sila nakakatakot, hindi sila nakaka-damage. But the moment you eat them together with inflammatory foods, which is now we know as sugar, carbohydrates, or anything that increases insulin, or di kaya meron ding mga fats na hindi maganda. So, the seed oils, if you can avoid canola, sunflower, vegetable oils, most vegetable oils, and just stick to either coconut oil o di kaya lard o di kaya tallow or even butter. Those are better options. Avoid margarine. I know mas mura ang margarine at masarap yung margarine, pero I don't think it's worth the risk because these margarines, yung tawag natin dito, hydrogenated oils na yan. Supposedly, liquid sila in form but they induce hydrogen on it. Ginawa nilang itong solid in room temperature and nakaka-confuse yan sa ating katawan when we consume them. It can stay in our system for more than 1 month at pwede itong maging part ng ating cells, and our cells are susceptible to stress and susceptible sa tawag nating oxidative stress, and that can lead into inflammation. So pwedeng you can imagine it as yung cells natin sa katawan is made of supposedly maganda yung quality ng material, but if you keep on eating low quality kinds of fats, low quality kinds of these oily substances na meron namang healthier counterpart, then you are risking yourselves of producing cells na hindi maganda yung coating o di kaya hindi gawa sa magandang materyales. So, kakaunting hangin lang, kahit hindi pa odet yung dumaan, kahit ambon lang, parang masisira na agad. It's bursting and that can lead into inflammation, microinflammation. Yun yung parang microscopic na mga sugat na nasa loob ng ating katawan. Ano ang epekto nito? It can lead into hypertension, pagtaas ng blood pressure, and then yung pagtaas ng blood pressure, actually, for the longest time, it can be asymptomatic. Hindi mo alam na mataas na pala yung inyong blood pressure. And the saddest part is, kapag na-diagnose ito, sometimes it is already quite a little too late. Hindi pa naman too late. As long as we are alive, meron pa rin pag-asa. But there are times na kapag nangyayari ito, it is already having yung tawag natin end organ damage. Either yung nanglalabo na yung mata, o di kaya nahihirapan na sa pag-ihi, o di kaya parating sumasakit yung tiyan, and many other problems. So, when you check the laboratory findings, hindi lang pala mataas yung blood pressure, meron ng atherosclerosis, meron ng pagbara, especially in our aorta, in our carotids, yung mga major arteries natin, meron na ding fatty liver, at isang nakikita nga doon is yung mataas na cholesterol, especially triglycerides and VLDL. And if you will think, kapag nakita ito ng result na mataas yung cholesterol at saka mataas yung VLDL at triglycerides, unang-unang iisipin, baka naparami ako ng pagkain ng itlog, o di kaya ng bacon, o di kaya ng baboy, o di kaya ng steak for those who don't eat pork. So maybe you think you are eating too much oily foods, or chicken skin, or fried fish, o kung ano man. Pero, yes, I admit that can contribute, pero we have to emphasize na meron tayong isang pagkain na hindi natin iniisip. And this is also the same reason kung bakit nung inyong when you tried to eliminate all of these fatty foods, yet although somewhat siguro bumaba ng kakaunti yung inyong blood cholesterol level or your triglycerides, but still it is still very high. Nagkakaroon pa nga ng inflammation sa liver, merong pagtaas ng SGPT, ALT, AST, and by ultrasound tumataba talaga yung liver. And even despite of not eating any of these meals, Christmas ka lang, kumakain ng lechon, kakaunti pa, and then the moment you eat, sobrang guilty yung pakiramdam mo. Yung itlog, yung puti lang yung kinakain mo, hindi ka na nagtatouch ng bacon, puro isda, gulay, gulay, gulay na lang yung kinakain. Pero hindi ba kayo nagtataka kung bakit yung cholesterol ninyo o di kaya ng inyong parents o di kaya ng inyong tito, tita ay ganun pa rin, mataas pa rin? Because yun nga, merong isang bagay, majority sa ating mga Pinoy na akala natin ay sobrang inosente, walang kasalanan, but when you look at it closely, pwedeng-pwede pala tayong maging biktima nito. And ano ito? It is actually the basis of our groups na ngayon ay nasa more than 350,000 members na. It's Life Without Rice. Bakit rice? Bakit life without rice? Because for us Filipinos, sobrang hirap isipin kung paano kumain, paano mabuhay ng walang kanin. Because marami sa atin nga nagtatrabaho para makabili ng bigas. Yun yung number one reason ng average Filipino worker kung bakit kayo nagtatrabaho para meron akong mapakain sa aking pamilya, para meron akong mabili ng bigas. Pero what if I tell you na pwede pa lang tayong mabuhay without rice? And actually, we can actually live better lives, healthier lives without rice. Of course, it's not the rice alone yung kailangan nating iwasan. It's actually what rice represents. So rice is a starch. It is a carbohydrate. Meron itong kakaunting fiber. Meron itong very, very little amount of trace proteins na almost negligible. But the starch, kapag ito ay naiproseso na sa ating katawan, 1 cup of rice is equal to 10 to 12 teaspoons of white sugar. Ganun po katindi yung net carbohydrate impact ng kanin sa ating katawan kung ihahalin tulad ito sa net impact din ng sugar kapag kumain tayo nito. So, ang asukal, alam na natin, kailangang iwasan. We've been avoiding sodas, desserts, cakes, chocolates, ice cream, and all those for the longest time. Alam na natin na kung kakain man tayo noon, we know that it's not good for us. But why did we choose the word life without rice? Why did we choose the title of the group as life without rice? Not life without sweets, not life without soft drinks, not life without sugar, not life without carbohydrates. Because we want to emphasize that should you eat rice, kung gustuhin mo mang kumain ng kanin, then you have to understand na kapag kinain mo ito, first, it's not nutritionally essential. Kayang-kayang mabuhay ng tao na hindi kumakain ng kanin. In fact, kakaunti lang, Asians, Filipinos are emotionally attached to rice, but the rest of the country, the rest of the world rather, nabubuhay ng walang rice. Although in their case, pwede itong pasta, patatas, fries, mashed potato, breads. And those are still the counterpart. But since we are Filipinos, we are emphasizing on life without rice because if we can only say no to rice, if we can have that discipline to avoid rice, knowing na yung laman ng rice is just sugar in a bland form. Isa siyang asukal na hindi matamis. You will easily know that the reason why your diabetes is still there, the reason why your blood pressure is still high despite intake of a lot of medications, yung rason kung bakit yung cholesterol ninyo ay mataas pa din, yung triglycerides ninyo ay mataas pa din despite not eating, or if you have been avoiding yung mga mamantika at mataba, it's because maybe you are overdoing your rice. So, of course, it's not just rice. Pwedeng-pwedeng hindi lang rice. Other forms of carbohydrates may also be consumed too much. Tulad ng kani, tulad ng patatas, tulad ng root crops, tulad ng tinapay, pasta, at isa pa. For us, especially na eto ngayon, season ng kung ano-anong prutas, kahit hindi season dito, but season sa palengke because we have this tradition of having 12 round fruits for abundance, for prosperity. Kung bibili man kayo niyan, kung low carb na kayo at naniniwala pa rin kayo dyan, pwedeng bumili ng kahit isa lang each, but you don't need to eat all of those. Okay? So it's just welcoming. Or you can have other symbolic na fruits because if you consume all of those fruits, then it's too much fructose, it's too much sugar, it's too much glucose na hindi kailangan ng inyong katawan. And these fructose is one step away. Isang step na lang papuntang paggawa ng triglycerides that can induce fatty liver problems and also problems with your blood cholesterol level. And actually, blood cholesterol, looking at blood cholesterol alone is sobrang simplistic view yan. Hindi yan enough. If you want to know more, you can join our low carb feasting and fasting community. Nasa 200,000 na ba tayo? I think or more. Thank you also. Shout out to our admins and moderators. You'll see them there assisting you if you have questions. So maraming salamat. You will understand if you read any topic or if meron kayong gustong tanungin, like say for example about cholesterol, you can search in the search bar kung ano yung mga conversations na dyan about cholesterol and you will understand that high cholesterol alone shouldn't be a cause of alarm, especially if yung triglycerides ay mababa, yung VLDL ay mababa, yung blood sugar or FBS, fasting blood sugar, and HbA1c ay mababa, yung level of inflammation ay mababa tulad ng CRP, yung C-reactive protein, or ESR, or erythrocyte sedimentation rate. If mababa ito and you only have isolated elevated cholesterol but with elevated HDL, which is the good cholesterol. And also, if mataas din yung inyong LDL, try to ask your laboratory kung kaya nilang i-extend ang kanilang testing to identify if it is a large density LDL or low density LDL because high density or large density, yung high buoyancy na LDL is actually not scary. It is the small density, the small dense LDL, yung nakakatakot and the ones causing problems relating to heart attack, strokes, and cardiovascular diseases. So we don't believe that actually bacon and eggs, especially the homemade organic bacon without sweeteners, okay, eaten alone without carbohydrates, should be a cause of worry or fear. We don't fear that because we know when we eat them together with just other nourishing foods, which would include you can have vegetables if you want. You can just have salt in it. So electrolytes is very essential when you start your low carb journey. So unless sinabihan talaga kayo na at nakita nyo talaga na meron kayong sensitivity with salt, then generally salt is not contraindicated. We encourage increased salt intake the moment you do low carb. So it is not applicable when you are told before to avoid salt because that one was during the time that you are eating high carb meal. High carb, so too much insulin in the body from carb intake plus salt is not a good combination. Yes, that can lead into some degree of hypertension because you will absorb and retain unnecessary water sa katawan ninyo. But when you are doing low carb, you are not actually retaining so much water. So that's why you also need to replenish salt on a day-to-day basis. And what foods you can start with low carb? You can search in YouTube and Facebook rather, JGC Rojo Food List. And meron din na tayong ginawang video na dyan on JGC Rojo Food List Explained para malaman ninyo why these foods are in our safe list, why certain foods are in our caution list, and why certain foods are in our danger list. So, you should know the concept behind. Hindi lang basta lowered carbohydrates yung tinitingnan natin, but we are also looking into the inflammatory effect of food because there are certain foods that are low carb in general. Say, for example, soy and peanuts. So those are low carb. So mani at saka soy products, soybeans, soy milk, soy sauce, lahat ng soy products, they are low carb, but they can be inflammatory. They have high levels of phytonutrients, especially lectins. So lectins, meron siyang lectin pathway that will process into inflammatory pathway sa katawan, especially for those na merong mga allergies, merong autoimmune diseases, merong arthritis, pananakit sa joints na hindi maintindihan, then try to look at your lectin intake. So try to avoid that and make sure that you are sticking to the safe list that is also low in phytotoxins and lectin. If you wish to know more about that, hindi yan covered ng topic natin for today because we are focusing on breakfast, that you can have breakfast still if you want. If you are still not into longer fasting, you can have breakfast, but try to have breakfast that is rich in proteins and healthy fats, and avoid heavy carbs na nagsispike ng insulin. Kung gusto mang maglagay ng carbs, try to eat green leafy vegetables, the complex carbohydrates that are high in vitamins, minerals, fiber, pero mababa po sa total sugar or net carbohydrate impact. Yun yung pinaka-importante. And if you wish to know more, meron tayong disease-specific masterclass by yours truly. Like, hanapin nyo lang po in Facebook. Meron tayong page dyan, LCF Masterclass by Josephine Grace Rojo MD, for much guided and structured learning. But if you think you can just do away without it, we have our YouTube channel. You can subscribe para wala kayong mamiss. And for those who are watching in our page, make sure na you hit po yung ano natin dyan, yung favorites o yung see first. Kasi kapag hindi po magno-notify sa inyo if we already have our live videos. So, I will see you again later. Don't worry, we will see each other. Magkakaroon kami ng LCF Bacolod gathering with some of the coaches and doctors who are here in Bacolod. And I will see you. We will show you what we prepared in case you want to have some idea. Magkakaroon kami ng low carb drinks na parang soft drinks pero soft low carb drinks. We will show you how to do it, and also the foods that we prepare that are very yummy yet something na we can all savor without fear, just like how we can savor bacon and eggs. So congratulations, Marlu, 60th day of Life Without Rice. God bless po. Happy New Year also. Pak na lang sabihin ko sa pangalan mo, ha? Hello, Wafa. And thank you so much, Anna. Meron tayong YouTube channel. So, subscribe na lang po. Just search my name. Nandun lang yan. And we have our admins, of course. We have Angela, we have Andrew, we have Alvin, and many more. So, message nyo lang yung LCF Masterclass. You are welcome, Roselo. Magandang hapon sa inyo. And medyo delayed yung breakfast nating usapan because actually, hindi pa ako kumakain. It's already 2:45, mag-3 o'clock na. So, I'm usually doing OMAD. So, one meal a day or di kaya a meal, two meals in a span of 4 to 5 hour window. So, yun yung OMAD, or one meal a day. If you wish to know more, nandyan yan sa ating mga master classes. And of course, in our groups in Facebook, you can join Life Without Rice for inspiration sa mga pagkain, na kung ano yung mga pagkain walang kanin, paano ba mabuhay ng walang kanin, and also Low Carb Feasting and Fasting Community for support and inspiration and transformation. Sobrang dami. Every day, we have a lot of testimonials there by real people. We wish to see you there. Maraming salamat. And for those who wish to join our masterclass, we have a 21-day disease-specific masterclass. I hope to see you there. So maraming salamat, everybody. Remember to always stay low carb so that we all stay safe. Have a good day.